Welcome back to my channel. We are with the next section of questions based on the topic jurisprudence. Today's first question is, what are the two theories included in analytical jurisprudence? The two theories included in analytic jurisprudence are legal positivism and a legal realism. What is criminal breach of trust? Criminal breach of trust means misuse of property entrusted to someone. What is the role of the police in the legal system? The police enforce laws and ensure compliance with legal norms. What is battery? Battery means unlawful physical force against another person. What institution typically imposes penalties in the legal system? Courts impose legal penalties such as the fines and imprisonment. What is theft? Theft means dishonest taking of another's property. What does analytic jurisprudence reject? Analytic jurisprudence rejects the fusion of what law is and what it ought to be, using a neutral and a descriptive approach. What is assault? Assault is an act that creates apprehension of harm. What is the focus of normative jurisprudence? Normative jurisprudence deals with evaluating the purpose and function of law, including what acts should be legally sanctioned and what punishments should be allowed. What is defamation? Defamation means false statements harming someone's reputation. What is the focus of restorative justice? Restorative justice focuses in healing and reconciliation rather than punishment. What is a major concern for justice in the 21st century? Ensuring access to justice for all, particularly marginalized groups. What are the first principles on which modern jurisprudence is based? Natural law, civil law, and the law of nations. What is extortion? Extortion means forcing someone to give a property using threats. What is the major distinction between legal and non-legal systems in terms of structure? The legal system is institutionalized and state-backed, while non-legal systems are often informal and voluntary. What is bail? Bail means release of an accused person pending trial. What does natural law theory propose? Natural law theory holds that there are rational objective limits to rulers' power and that human laws gain force from the laws of nature. What is the key method used in experimental jurisprudence? Experimental jurisprudence investigates legal concepts using social science methods rather than philosophical approaches. What distinction has been an important area of legal philosophy research? The difference between tort law and criminal law, which relates to the broader distinction between civil and criminal law. What is the Latin origin of the word jurisprudence? It comes from jurisprudentia, where jus means law and prudentia means prudence or good judgment. When did the term jurisprudence first appear in written English? In 1628. Which language may have influenced the English adoption of jurisprudence? French. What is a contract? Contract is a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties. What are the essential elements of a valid contract? Offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity, and a lawful object. What is consideration? Something of value exchanged in a contract is called consideration. What was the basis of ancient Egyptian law? Ancient Egyptian law was based on the concept of ma'at, which emphasizes tradition, rhetorical speech, social equality, and impartiality. Who formulated the first non-law code and when? The first non-law code was formulated by Ur-Nammu, an ancient Sumerian ruler in the 22nd century BC. What is the Codex of Hammurabi and who created it? The Codex of Hammurabi is a Babylonian law code created by King Hammurabi around 1760 BC. It was inscribed on stone stele and placed throughout the kingdom. When was the most intact copy of the Codex Hammurabi discovered and by whom? The most intact copy was discovered in the 19th century by British Assyriologist. What is a free consent? Free consent means agreement without coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, undue influence, or mistake. What is void contract? Void contract means a contract that is not legally enforceable. What is voidable contract? Voidable contract means a contract that can be legally cancelled by one party. What is breach of contract? Breach of contract means failure to fulfill contractual obligations. What was the primary form of law in the Old Testament? The Old Testament law took the form of moral imperatives as recommendations for a good society. Which ancient society first included broad participation of its citizens in governance? Ancient Athens, from about 8th century BC, was the first society to be based on broad citizen participation, excluding women and enslaved people. What were the three distinctions of law in ancient Greece? Ancient Greece law was divided into themis, nomos, and a dike. Themis means divine law, nomos means human decree, and a dike means custom. What is an offer? An offer means a proposal made with the intention of forming a contract. What is privity of contract? Privity of contract means only parties to a contract can sue for its breach. Which texts mark the beginning of ancient Indian jurisprudence? The Dharmashastra texts, including the Dharmasutras of Apastampa and Baudhayana. What were the main competing theories of jurisprudence in ancient China? Taoism, Confucianism, and legalism. Who were the periti in ancient Rome? The periti in ancient Rome were experts in the jus mos maiorum, that means traditional law. How did the Roman law develop and adapt over time? Roman law was influenced by Greek philosophy, developed by professional jurists, and adapted to changing social conditions. Major codifications occurred under Theodosius II and Justinian I. What is jus commune and how did it emerge? Jus commune refers to a common legal tradition in medieval Europe that arose when scholars rediscovered Roman codes and integrated them into canon law. What role did the law merchant play in legal history? The law merchant was a Europe-wide system of commercial law that facilitated trade by establishing common standards for merchants. What is a tort? Tort is a civil wrong causing harm or loss. What role did praetors play in Roman law? The praetors established a working body of laws and judged cases based on the edicta. What was the function of a iurex in ancient Rome? A iurex was a magistrate or private individual appointed to judge a specific case. What is negligence? Negligence means breach of duty causing harm. What is strict liability? Strict liability means liability without proof of negligence. What is vicarious liability? Vicarious liability means holding one party responsible for another's action. Which two civil codes became the most influential in Europe? The Napoleonic Code and the German Civil Code became the most influential. How does common law differ from civil law in terms of legal documentation? Common law relies on case law, that is precedent, resulting in large volumes of legal cases, while civil law is codified in concise books, making it easier to apply and export. What is the primary source of European Union law? The primary source of European Union law is codified in treatises and it develops through precedents set by the European Court of Justice. What is defamation? Defamation means false statements harming a person's reputation. Which ancient Indian legal texts were foundational to Indian law? The Arthashastra, compiled around 100 AD, and the Manusmriti, compiled around 100 to 300 AD, were foundational legal texts. What is trespass? Trespass means unauthorized entry onto another's property. What was the central philosophy of Manusmriti? The central philosophy of Manusmriti was tolerance and pluralism. Which legal system was established during the Muslim rule in India? Sharia law was established, particularly under the Mughal Empire's Fatwa-e-Alamgiri, compiled by Aurangzeb and Islamic scholars. Which legal system replaced the Hindu and the Islamic law in colonial India? Common law, introduced by British Empire, replaced the Hindu and Islamic law.